Hello, do-it-yourselfers. Today we are painting shutters. It isn't great to paint things with dirt on them in general, so giving them a clean is ideal. Pressure washing them when they are still up is pretty easy and may even knock some of the wasp nests down from behind them. It is good to have some wasp killer spray on hand when removing shutters, especially if it's hot out. They tend to be more active in the heat and they like nesting behind shutters. These shutters here were installed with screws with a Phillips head, so it's pretty easy to go around taking them off, except where they are severely stripped out. Nothing a set of pliers or vice grips can't solve, however. If shutters aren't held up by screws, then usually they are held up by shutter fasteners that look like this here. With these guys, just get a small pry bar under the head and pull them out. Sometimes they do break off, in which case you'll need to get a few new ones and drill out the hole it was in. As we take the shutters off, label where they go. Sometimes they are slightly different size windows around the house, but it is also nice to use the same holes when rehanging. It'll make it a little easier, especially if the shutter plug and not a regular screw was used. We like to take the old screws that aren't stripped out and push them into a piece of cardboard so we can give them a quick spray paint to freshen those up as well. Sometimes you end up needing to buy some new ones, and depending on the color the shutters are, you probably won't be able to buy matching screws anyway, so paint the heads of any new screws also. Lay the shutters on an old drop with room to step between them. Also, if possible, putting them in the shade is also ideal. Now we are ready to spray. Make sure to spray from each angle, getting all the edges. Also pull the trigger just before getting to the shutter and release the trigger once your gun is past applying paint to the shutter. You also want to be moving at a good pace. If you move the gun too slow, the paint will pile up fast, leaving some ugly, heavy areas of paint. If this does happen, get a brush and smooth it out. When spraying, I usually prefer the finer tips. I believe here we are using either a 212 or 312. The 2 or 3 refers to the size of the fan as you spray, and the 12 refers to how tight the tip is and how much paint comes out at once. For example, a 517 tip would pump out a ton of paint pretty fast in a fairly large fan. I would let the shutters sit overnight to let the paint harden up some and at least start to cure. Now it's time to hang. Make sure to hang them right side up. Usually if there is any kind of decoration or rounded pattern, instead of squared off, this goes up. If both ends are squared off, usually the fatter square goes down. Because we labeled the shutters and they are going back in the exact same spot, the screws should go right back in the exact same holes. And assuming the initial installer had everything even and whatnot, we are good to go. Dark painted shutters do tend to smudge a little easier. For sure, make sure your hands are clean, but also you can handle them with a clean rag, and that will also prevent fingerprint smudges. Worst case scenario, you can always touch up a spot or two once they are hung. Don't forget to clean out the sprayer properly once you're completed and before you start admiring your handiwork. That is a couple step process which I have detailed in a separate video. That's it for repainting some existing shutters. It's only a couple hour project, best done over 2 days. Now you can sleep better at night, not having to worry about your faded shutters. And don't forget, keep leveling up your house.